Alright guys, Copper Cutlass, I got my wife recording. We're using the selfie sticks of JJ. I hope you can hear everything. So guys, let's see. Actually, I was over at JJ's yesterday. I picked up a couple of parts for the stroker rocker arms. And then all we need is push rods, and I can finish that up. Of course, my buddy's in no rush. I've been helping him with his Cutlass, and he actually just got it out on the road for its maiden voyage. So, let's see. So today, took out the Bonneville, and I went to the shop, and I went ahead and I grabbed my boss let me borrow his calibration kit for the Edelbrock carburetor, and we tried a few different spring combinations for the step-up springs, and the blue springs worked the best, which were the lightest ones. So my thinking is that I'm used to tuning a lighter car that gets up and goes faster, whereas this car is heavy. It doesn't want as much fuel altogether, so the lighter springs change the rate of fuel upon acceleration, and that very light stumble is almost completely gone driving around town, like leaving a light, real light, if you're on the throttle. Super light, it doesn't like have that little slight hesitation anymore. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to end up going back to the other distributor that I had on there, because I did this one for test purposes. We're going to go back and change the advance curve back to pretty much what's in here. And the other one, the only difference between this one and that one is that that one has a vacuum advance, and we can play with that as well, because right now I'm actually slightly idling on the transfer slot. So the transfer slot is, here's your throttle plate, here's the transfer slot. If you expose too much of it, you're dumping a ton of fuel at idle. And I know this because I can close the idle air mixture screws and it still idles. So I'm idling on that circuit, which changes things. So I want to play with that, and if anything, we can go right back to where we are now by just changing the vacuum hose from the canister from ported to unported, which right now I'm not running it at all. But it's mainly the vacuum canister will help clean up the idle mixture-wise, because you'll get a bunch of extra timing, and you can run a lot less of the fast idle, because again, the more timing you have, if you guys have timed it, the RPM goes up, it leans up the mixture, it raises up the RPM, all that good stuff. So it cleans it up, and we're going to play with that. We got that down. I feel it's a back and forth. It is a back and forth between carburetor tuning, timing tuning, and messing with it. But this is where taking your time and being patient pays off, because you have a better understanding. I learned a lot finally diving into this and really tuning with it, and how much it really affects it. I mean, I had this same engine in my Cutlass with a 342 gear and the same stall converter, and that car would roast the tires instantly. And on this car, it'll spin the tires, but it's heavy, and the fuel demands are different because of the weight. This car probably has maybe 300 or 400 pounds over what my olds had with this combination, and it makes a big difference in what the engine wants to propel the car. So you also got to think about that. You're not just tuning the carburetor or the engine, you're tuning it to the needs of the car, and that really affects everything. And if maybe I haven't been as in-depth as I could be with this, but really I think there's people out there that are better than me at explaining this. I'm just kind of telling you guys what I'm doing to cure the issues that I'm having. But if you guys really want to know what affects what, let me know. I'm in the process of making a bracket so I can put my GoPros in the cars. I can take you guys for rides and feel things out. But as far as everything else goes, all I have to do, as I mentioned this before, is I have to reinforce my cross member and adjust it height-wise, and then I have to put on a drive shaft safety loop. And then my wife is going to drive this to the track when the BOP race comes up in September, and I'm going to get her to make some passes with it. And I'm shooting for maybe 14s. The last time she raced it, it had the EFI and the 308 gear. We didn't have a sticky tire, and with me riding shotgun, she managed a 16.2 without shifting. So eliminate 200 pounds, that's a 16.0, and you shift it. I probably would have ran a high 15. And I removed weight since then. I put a 342 gear in it. We made some changes to the engine, mainly the adjustable valve train, and I've finessed the engine a little bit better, so maybe we can get a 14 out of it. I'd be real happy with that. But yeah, things are lean here with projects. It hasn't really, it's been a busy summer outside of the garage, and to the point where I needed like a reboot myself. So I got back and picked up my skateboard, and I've been doing that on the evenings just to kind of get away from everything. You know what I mean? Like, I love working on cars, but that's also, it can be stressful. So I've just kind of gotten, everything is kind of good where it's at. I've been picking at this. I got the engine at the machine shop, which hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can wrap that up. And when I go to put that engine together, I'm going to start making better videos of the assembly process of that. And it's going to take me a little while, but I think it's owed to do something good like that. And again, I'm not going to tell you guys to live and die by what I'm doing, but I'm just going to show you what I do in depth. And I've played with the editor a lot more. As you guys seen, I made a couple of videos with JJ's car, my car, the story of my car, that stuff, and it's gotten a little bit better. So hopefully you guys can enjoy that. And yeah, so I'm going to probably just lop on some skate videos at the end of this if you care to watch just for the shit of it, because I've been playing with the editor. But yeah, so we're going to get the engine back hopefully soon. I got an Edelbrock Performer intake for sale if anybody wants it. $150 plus the shipping anywhere in the U.S. So it'll probably end up being about $1.75, $1.80. Everything's gone up in price, so I can't sell it for what they used to go for, which the going rate used to be $1.20 for a used Performer intake. They've gone through the roof. But make me an offer anyway. I got it at $150 plus shipping, but if anybody out there wants it, make me an offer. And I might be selling the RPM as well, because I have a line on a Victor Jr. intake, which is what I really want to use for the big block heads and the small block. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed me making small videos of this, the carburetor rebuild and stuff, and the getting it dialed in. Share, like, subscribe, hit the like button. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, Copper Cutlass, post a bunch of random stuff on there, kind of car related, not car related, work related, life related. So yeah, see you guys around.